This is Scott Becker with the Becker Business Minute Podcast, the Becker Private Equity Podcast. Here are 10 stories that we're following this morning, and this is Martin Luther King Day, January 16th, 2023. First, and probably most importantly, the markets are closed today in honor of the legendary civil rights leader and advocate Martin Luther King and MLK Day. In healthcare, we'll do a specific shout out today to the remarkable Michellene Davis. Michellene Davis leads National Medical Fellowships. Michellene is a fierce advocate for health equity and spends her time at National Medical Fellowships trying to help Black Americans become doctors and get into medical school, residency, and success there. An amazing and remarkable organization. And that's our shout out today to Michellene Davis on MLK Day. Second, the markets had a great day yesterday, or Friday, and really had a terrific week last week. Third, there's increasingly different perspectives on the national debt. First, Janet Yellen says it's a debacle if we don't raise the debt ceiling. Second, Kevin McCarthy, the Speaker of the House, says really we need to cap government spending, not keep on raising the debt ceiling. Third, Barron writes that too much government debt could ultimately become a big problem for the stock market and, quite frankly, for the nation. So that's really the debt ceiling. Fourth, electric vehicles made up 10% of all new cars sold last year. That was reported in the Wall Street Journal. That's the first time it's hit that high of a number. Fifth, BlackRock versus Goldman. They spar over the 60-40 rule. The 60-40 rule is a traditional rule for investing, 60% equities, 40% debt. Last year was a debacle for that model of investing. Goldman says that model is still alive as a basic building block. In contrast, BlackRock says that that's no longer the case. BlackRock said about $8.6 trillion in assets under management. At the end of the day, both these firms are great at collecting assets under management. The jury's out as to how good they are at actually managing people's portfolios. Sixth, as a segue to the Goldman-BlackRock discussion of the 60-40 rule, we generally look at there as three core types of portfolios. A sort of growth or more aggressive portfolio might be 70 to 100% equities, 0 to 30% bonds. And we'll talk about bonds in a second. Second, conservative portfolio might be 70 to 100% bonds, really aimed at long-term income, not at appreciation, 0 to 30% equities. And finally, the balanced portfolio is more the 60-40, or in this case, we talk about that gap between these two growth and conservative portfolio, 30 to 70% equities and 70 to 30% bonds. The couple different thoughts. Bonds to reduce risk can be shorter duration and can bias towards government bonds, heavily tilted that way. Equities can also be tilted towards value. In terms of tools, what you really need to understand with your own allocation is long-term. Are you going to have long-term gains? What's the potential long-term gain and risk? And also what's going to be in the short term? Because if you have long-term gain, if short-term has horrible hiccups year in, year out, many of us can't live through those. So the best tools online to sort of look at what this looks like, 1 year, 5 year, 30-year increments are, in my view, on the Vanguard websites. Seventh, Bitcoin is up to about 21,000. It's had a great start of the year, up about 25% year to date. Eighth, oil's at $80 a barrel. That's had some increase too recently. Finally, the 10-year Treasury yield has fallen to about 3.5%. As that's fallen, the equity markets have gone up. And finally, the 1-year Treasury is right now right around 4.7%. In any event, those are 10 of the quick stories we're following this morning. Thank you for listening to the Becker Business Minute Podcast and the Becker Private Equity Podcast. Thank you very much.